Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And you can hear how bad of a voice that I have, but I'm happy to at least have a voice. I've been fighting with this thing that I picked up. Must have been at ASD, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. And whatever it is, it kicked me straight between the eyes. It's been nasty. And I can only assume it's probably some form of COVID because I've never had a cold this bad. I've had COVID this bad, but not a cold this bad. And I literally had on Monday, I couldn't even whisper. And this is as good as it's going to get probably for another few days. And I didn't just want to, yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to come on here and say, this is Wolfman Jack, but I don't think.
No one design says, "Holy moly, John, you sound like very black."
So
I don't sound so great myself, so we're just over here working the shit show.
yeah, it's a show, and we're still working eBay throughout all this. It's been an adventure, I'll tell you that much. But really, just coming back, want to tell you guys, I've been jonesing to get in front of the microphone and the video camera to come up with content, but my voice has just really been a problem for me. So thank you for guys. Thank you to you guys for hanging out with us and being here.
The Godfather.
Excuse me. Yeah, the Godfather. So so just trying to make it through. I don't know how long we're gonna go. I mean, it may come to the point where I'm just at a whisper. I don't know how long my voice is going to last, if at all. But it's important enough for us to be here with you guys and to, just talk shop because, like I said, we're still doing the business even throughout all this. And it hasn't been a fun ride. Let me put it that way. And unfortunately, Jenna was fine until a few days ago. And she picked up what I had, and she's experiencing what I had, which pretty much starts with a like a knife to the throat, and it just feels like you can't swallow, and it's just a nightmare. Just followed by all kind, and it moves around. So right now, I think I'm fine, but it's kind of in my ears, so everyone sounds like a robot right now. So other than that, I feel good. So
He may sound like trash, but he's up and around and moving a lot more than he was. Before he could barely get out of bed, and he was forcing himself to do that.
Yeah, I probably would be in a lot better shape if I would have just listened and just slept. But I know that the items aren't going to list themselves. The items aren't going to pick themselves up. When I need to pick my items up to resell, the items aren't going to ship themselves. She's been helping me every day with shipping. So it's the business still needs the attention. Now we have the drafts and all that, and that's fine, but you still have to contact your buyers. And believe me, I've been doing bare minimum stuff and then going right back to bed many days. So it is what it is, but my concern is to get back to normal. So, the business is pretty much good, but the YouTube side isn't. And it's because I just haven't been able to speak. So I apologize for that. Want to see who's here. We have Prosser, we have Picky Ricky, Bling Bling Factor, Australia, Carolyn, Sandra Hoyer. Got it right. Maybe I need to get sick more often. Jovial Juggler, Mike Camparelli. And let me just say something about this man right here. We had mentioned.
You're gonna make me cry again.
We had mentioned the last time we were on the live. What was it? Was it last Friday?
I don't remember the last time
we were live. Whenever we were live last, it was right after Craigslist Hunter, Kevin Commonwealth Picker, and Cincinnati Picker came out, and we're talking about the get together, the seller get together that's going to happen on the 30th of September. And at the time, I was like, well, I'm going to do a wait and see. And I had contacted Cincinnati picker to let him know that just wasn't quite sure yet, if we're going to make a trek that far, that type of thing. And we're kind of on the fence, and got an email a few days later from Mike saying, hey, heard you guys were thinking about going. Just want to let you know that it's taken care of. And like, wait, what? That man, I mean, he went and bought us 2 tickets, and I want to thank you, Mike, for doing that. I mean, and I even said, Mike, I'm gonna pay you back, because I mean, that wasn't the intention. But he said, don't you dare think about doing that. It's something that I wanted to do. So, thank you, Mike, for being so awesome.
He's just a genuine human being. I mean, his heart is full of gold, and I wish we knew you so much earlier on.
Yeah.
You are just so genuine and a really, really good friend. I'm so glad our paths crossed.
Yeah. It's really cool. And that's the thing about these kind of things. You have a YouTube channel. I'm just a guy on an island selling, stuff on eBay. And, there's like-minded people out there who are doing the same thing. The only difference is you're not putting yourself out in front of a camera. You're just watching, what information we provide you. And the fact that there's so many good people, and not just Mike. Mike's awesome. But there's many, many awesome people as well, that we can't just, I mean, we're singling out Mike. So I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Mike, but this community is just full of people who, are just looking to be part of the, a reseller community, one where they can come together and they can trust whoever they're, watching. And I think that's kind of important. So thank you, Mike, and thank you everyone really who's ever supported this channel. But I just had to say thank you to Mike for doing that, because I think sometimes we can do some pretty good deeds, but it's important to me to at least make sure that doesn't go unnoticed. So
I guess we're going to Ohio.
I guess, huh? I guess we're going to be doing some yard sales, right, Mike? So looking forward to that. I have a different voice by then, so I'm looking forward to that first, getting my voice back. We have PTS Treasures. We have Rosie Games. Rosie reached out, want to know if I was still alive. Brian Leda is in the house. So quite a number. We have Leonard,
Mike and Keena.
Well, Michael or Keena. I don't know.
It says Mike and Keena.
Okay, Mike and Keena. Okay. Let's see. Christopher Alexander, of course, the great Tommy Bernard podcast. John sounds like my dream girl. So
that's disgusting.
Wow, that's just horrible.
I don't think you caught on to that right away.
My voice fits his dream girl.
Oh
yeah. Oh, Tommy. Let's see. I know I sound bad. I even pulled up a thing for Jenna here for Wolfman Jack, because it's like, okay, I remember this dude a long time ago, and that's kind of what I would sound like, I think, right now. Let's see. Now, Rosie's asking picky, but you guys are waiting for us, but I'll kind of touch on that. I see things are slow for you. We're all dealing with the horrible economy. What we can do is chug away and keep going. Hopefully next week will improve for you. How have your sales been, guys? I can tell you that it's just a weird roller coaster ride. I mean, you'll have, for me on my main store, $300, $400, $500 days in a row. And then yesterday, $150 day, $100 day today. I mean, the day's not over, but just, it looks like things are going well, then boom, it just drops. Now, could some of this be, at least in my end, for the fact that I'm not spending as much time getting as many listings up? I'm getting just the bare minimum, 5, 6, 7 listings, and that's it, a day. I think that's part of it, because you can get good sales, but if you're not replenishing your inventory, then at some point your buyers are buying stuff that's just bare bones, whatever you have left. They're kind of picking through the garbage. So really, as far as my sales have been kind of all over the place. I do know that there's some folks, some channels that continue to think that like almost daily that there's a problem with traffic. I'm not traffic, but glitches and servers, and I can't I can't really bring myself to speak to a lot of that because I can tell you that when it comes to servers and stuff and what's down and what's up, I don't quite get how that affects the individual seller. But I'm just looking at my traffic report. If I go back a week, my traffic is down by, I'd say, 20%. And that's almost day to day. And I can tell you it's probably because I don't have as many listings that I've put up for sale as the previous activity. So I believe eBay rewards you with traffic. And if you, with activity, for activity, and if you're not providing is the same level of activity, over time, it's going to drop off. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm down impressions, almost 10%. Page views, 35% in page views. So, and my sales it says it's up 20% from the previous period. So, very interesting. Just want to know what you guys are doing if you've looked at your numbers, but that's kind of where I'm at. Michelle says, hello, everyone. How's everyone's sales on eBay? Mine's have tanked, still doing the daily grind, but after 10 days and only one sale, I think it's time to do something new.
Yeah.
So, what's that something new? Is it your habits on listing? Is it your sell similar? Are you doing that? I just did that on the account yesterday, and I'm just a firm believer. Look, I just got to get out there and get some more stuff listed. I mean, yeah, you need to rest, but at the end of the day, eBay don't care, and if I'm not doing YouTube videos, which I'll just tell you, YouTube videos make up a small portion of our income. It's as compared to what we sell on eBay, but it's all combined. So if I'm not doing videos, if I'm not really putting out the same level of inventory, then something at the end is going to start giving, and it's starting to happen. So I got to get back out there and continue to list. Now, I can tell you, I'm pretty excited that I'm going to be doing an unboxing video here, probably this week at some point. I don't know exactly the day. It's not going to be a live stream or anything like that, but it's going to be a pallet, a liquidation pallet, working with a liquidator that we came into contact with. I don't want to call him a sponsor because it's really not a sponsorship or we're signing any kind of agreements or anything like that. We're just going to, they're sending me some merchandise. They want my honest assessment. Of course, there's an opportunity, some collaboration going forward. But to be honest with you, it's one of those things where not only, am I going to give an honest review of what they have, I am going to be reporting anytime you guys decide, well, I want something like that, and they don't get the same kind of thing. That's going to be very important to me as well, because it's not like a regular sponsorship where I'm, being paid to, give good kudos. It's just, here it is. What do you think? So I'm excited to do that. That's coming up here. Let's see. Prosser says, I think sales will pick up. Just got to hang in there. eBay still tinkering around with things. Did you see the new social thing they added? So what's the new social thing that they added? Let's see, trying to get to some of your questions. Mark Sedek says, hi, good to see you back. Hope you're feeling better. I didn't, as far as what did I have? The last two times we've had COVID.
No, you.
Well, I got tested and came back positive before, but this time it's like, well, what's the point?
I was negative.
What's the point? I mean, really, it's almost like the way we look at this disease or this virus is a lot different than we looked at it, say, even a year ago. I mean, people just think of COVID, okay, no big deal, move on. People aren't wearing masks anymore. It's not quite the same. Can you check? I don't know what that. I put the mail out for our mail carrier, and you'd think that they just take the mail, but apparently they have a return or something for us. But I didn't get tested this time, but I know I've had it enough to know that it's not your normal cold. This is just a nasty version of the coronavirus. And it's, if you have underlying problems, I can certainly see how this can really put you in a bad place. Oh, what was a mail carrier? What happened?
Yeah, this mail carrier is like, hey, do you have a pickup? He's trying to show me the paper. And I'm like, right here. Here's the bag right in front of you.
And what did he say?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen him before.
What's better, a carrier who just doesn't care and won't come, unless she wants to, or a stupid one?
Let's just be grateful he came. I mean, let's just be grateful he came.
Hey, Jenna, are you alone tonight?
No, I'm not alone tonight.
Oh, I ain't leaving anywhere. Let's see. Leonard says, Barry White, hey, baby. We're watching, I don't know if Roman's going to be on here, but we saw Roman's live. That was a hoot, man. And of course, I'm sitting here dying, laughing. I can't really speak, but it was pretty fun. Susan Pentoja, the Godfather. Yes. Christopher Alexander. Hi. So Jenna, did you get very sick?
I have whatever he has. I just haven't completely lost my voice. Mine is all in here. So my throat feels like razor blades.
Yeah. And
my sinuses.
And that's terrible. What I had the first week, and then the throat thing kind of goes away, but it moves to your chest, then it moves to, your head. You're getting like the sinusy thing, and then the last stage, I guess it comes through your mouth and it goes out your ears, because mine is decided to turn everyone into a robot. So it's pretty nasty, but No One Design says get some tussin. I feel fine.
We've been on all kinds of daytime meds, nighttime meds, cough syrups. We have cough drops. I mean, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah. Oh my OMG, you guys sound so sick. Kudos for you doing this today. I mean, we enjoy doing this. This is our life, guys. This is
we had nothing better to do.
Yeah. This is our life that we enjoy. It's almost like that show that you guys watch on maybe a weekly basis or whatever it is. We enjoy, doing this. Wanda says, praying for healing for both of you. You are loved. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Wanda.
And Archie, what up, everyone? Hope you guys are feeling better soon. Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm not, because I'm just at the beginning of it. I've only had this for 2 days?
Oh, 3 days. 3 days. Yeah.
And he's been sick since before the last live. So I'm just now getting all of the stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and normally, I can hit a regular cold with Zicam. I'm a very big, firm believer of just doing every 4 hours, boom, Zicam, and just do Zicam, and you'll still have the cold, but it just wipes out the symptoms. But Zicam was like, no, we ain't working today. So this is a very special kind of thing. And, but Lori says you should have taken the test. We know how terrible it is, but it would only confirm what I already know. It would just
confirm that what we already know.
Yeah. And then Tommy says, I thought John was doing his best Roman impersonation. No, there's no KGB accent there.
Where is Roman?
I don't know. He might have drank that whole bottle of whatever the other night, never woke up. No One Design says, hey, John, ever think of doing a 1 to 900 sidekick? Oh,
1-900.
Yeah. Do they even have 1-900 anymore?
I don't think so.
It says you should have taken today off as well. I mean, I feel good. If you guys can tolerate.
He feels fine. It's just his voice. He sounds like he doesn't feel good, but he feels fine.
No. Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I might sound okay, but I feel like shit.
And I felt that way early in the week. But no, I mean, what I'm going to do, we're thinking about keeping this to about an hour because, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
We want him to get his full voice back. So we don't want to wear it out in one go round.
But as soon as we're done here, I'm going to get outside and go to work. That's just the way it is. I'm going to work and I'm looking forward to it. I have a bunch of merchandise, want to get it going. I have a full pallet coming next week. and I've got to make
We
room
gotta make
for it.
room because right now, John gets in the garage and it's like a tornado. He goes in there like, what's that, Tasmanian devil? That's what happens.
Excuse me. Let's see here. Process. Hope you guys are feeling much better soon. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
What did the doc say? He said, "Don't come here."
He said, you already know.
Let me just break the news to many of you guys who probably already know this, but I'll tell you. We don't have insurance. Okay. So,
Health insurance.
well, insurance.
Health.
We have car insurance. So
we have dental or vision insurance.
If I get into a car accident and say, this broken arm came with this cold and, it's their fault. No, it doesn't work that way. No, we can go to, do like the telemed is kind of what we do. It's like $50. They'll give a prescription, they'll, tell them what's going on. And that's what you're going to get at a regular doctor's appointment anyway. The idea of spending $800 a month to get any kind of resemblance of a healthcare package, like what we used to have when we worked at the railroad, where you don't have to come out of pocket $7,000 before the copay kicks in, the shared cost kicks in. That's not insurance. And so we're just going to go with it. It doesn't do any good to me to go to a doctor. They're going to give me some, maybe some medication, and I can pick up some pretty good stuff at the store anyway. So it's not a big deal.
I'm really big on a lot of home remedy stuff, elderberry, ginger and lemon, all of those things. I will do those things for myself. Like after we're done, I didn't have time to make myself some tea before we came on, but I will drink tea. He won't. And
she bought me I sent her to go buy me a medicine ball at Starbucks, and I was willing to try anything. And I powered through about half of it, and I'm like, I can't do it. This is nasty. This is not enjoyable at all. It didn't help much either.
You could go get me one.
Okay, I might. Let's see. No One Design says, I think the doc says stop hanging out with the black friends too much. Wow, that's horrible. Marco says, hey, John and Jenna, get better soon. Thanks for popping up. Art says, hello. Lee Hayes, don't scream, go Angels, get better. Not a whole lot to scream about right now. I think it's more about like all the players are playing the baseball classic. But I'll be better here in a few days. I'll be night and day. It's actually getting better every day. Yesterday, I'd have been done by now.
There's been so many times he's wanted to pick a fight with me, but he can't speak. Nothing's coming out.
No, I wanted to pick a fight with you.
No, you always want to pick a fight with me. And he wants to talk back, but he can't. Nothing's coming out.
She knows that I can't say a damn thing. So she's going to say something to make me want to say something. And I'm like, why would you put me in that position?
But then he keeps going. And I'm like, dude, I can't even understand what you're trying to fight with me about. So just be quiet.
It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's like having a mute person. And
it's like I win every time because.
Enjoy it, because you're going to have that moment next week. And
well, I'm not one. I don't usually lose my voice.
Oh, and when you do.
When I watch here, let me knock on some particle wood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Leonard said last Friday when the Wi-Fi went down. It's like, like something happening every time. Yeah, but
our life.
No One Design, I think, again, idea, try inhaling some helium.
To equalize your voice.
Jeez. Okay, I saw this question here, and I'm sorry I passed it. I meant to answer it. Can you explain box in a bag as the shipping? Okay, well, it's a technique that we used for quite some time, and we used it mainly to try to take advantage of pirate ships' cubic priority rates. And it's an idea where you put any size box. It doesn't even have to be a box, but we use a lot of boxes that we might, maybe we can't really adequately package the inside of the box, the item inside. So we'll wrap the box with layers of bubble wrap, right? After making sure there's nothing shaking inside the box or anything like that. And then we'll place the box inside of a poly bag. Now, before we were doing it wrong. We were getting away with it, but we were doing it wrong. And that was, we would wrap the poly bag to form fit the box. So it looks like a box. It's just more of a box that feels like it has like a layer of cushion all the way around it. And we were sending those in with the cubic rates with pirate ship. But one day we got a nasty gram, that's like 2.5 years ago, from some Minot, North Dakota mail post office.
Yeah,
They sent it back.
Better to do.
Sent it back saying that we owed $33 and we shipped it wrong. And I'm like, oh geez. So looked into it more, and we were doing it wrong. You can put the box in the bag as long as it still looks like it's a bag and not a box. So that makes sense. So it has the flaps on either end, and it looks like the ends show like it looks like an envelope. Maybe it looks like a pillow. So like if a pillow that's in a pillowcase, you still have the ends of the pillowcase sticking out. And you have to measure the bag, dimensions of the bag before you put the box in the bag when you're using the dimensions to calculate what you're paying. So that was another thing that we weren't doing. So we don't use the cubic rate a lot. We still use the box in a bag method because here's the thing. We sell everything. You guys know that. And if we had to get a box for everything we sell, we'd have like 30 different boxes lying around. And we just don't have that. We probably have, I'd say, 7 or 8 different size boxes lying around. So when it works, we'll use those boxes, but when it doesn't, we're using the box in the bag. I mean, okay, I'll show you, give you an example. We have, this is a big box. It's like 24 by 8. And this is a telescope. Okay, so the telescope's in a bag. It's in the actual retail box. We have layers of bubble wrap on this, and then we have, this is probably okay. We probably have a I'd say, what is it, 24 by?
That's the long one.
Yeah, I don't know what you use for this, but
yeah, it's the long. I think it's 24.
We have up to 36 by 24 as well. I think we're out of those, but
I think it's a 36 by 24.
So this has a nice layer of bubble wrap, right? So that it helps if they drop it, it's going to keep the form of the box when they open it up. Never had a problem. No one's complained at all about our shipping. Now, this one, okay, it's
roller skates.
Yeah, okay. So these are inline roller skates, okay, and you can see there's no bubble wrap.
There's no bubble wrap on that one because it's bubbled on the inside of the box. So it's in the factory box. However, there's enough room in there for me to bubble because there's no manufacturer padding in there. And so to protect them, I wrap them in the box in bubbles and pad it so that it doesn't move around, because before I did anything with the box, if you shook it, it sounded like a box full of rocks. And so in order to prevent that, I just wrap bubbles in there or pad it accordingly. And then I just put it in a poly bag, because the boxes don't always, I have to tape them up because they come damaged. So the roller skates themselves might be, in good condition, but their boxes, a lot of times there's holes in the boxes. Somebody just tore the box apart and then returned it. So it's not like a regular box, and it looks like hell. So I will go in and either and do just that. So I was able to not have to use bubbles on the outside of the box because I've used them on the inside, but I still wanted to cover it up because the box is not in very good condition.
Now, there's a couple things about that, though. See, anybody out there who buys liquidation knows that you'll get a retail box that has a label cut out, right? So we know that people are just throwing stuff in retail boxes and shipping it. I could do that, but I don't want to do that. It's not professional. I think someone would actually rather get it like this than the inline skates. This is sitting on your porch. You say, oh, look at the brand new skates that are out there. If I didn't put this poly bag on the outside, people don't know what this is. It could be a toilet seat for all people know. Now, another thing you'll notice is one last step. After we form fit this to the box, we use clear tape. The reason is because there's no flaps, there's no excess sticking
There's
out.
nothing for a machine to get
Right.
caught on.
Never had a complaint. Now, FedEx doesn't like this, so we use UPS. We haven't had any surcharges with this, but we just put this tape all the way down, and it looks professional. And yeah, we got the eBay tape on the sides. And some people say, hey, that screams, come get me. But you know what? If you have a good situation where you're not dealing with porch part, like we have, our door is not facing the street. So, you got to work that out with your carrier, but it shouldn't matter how I package this up. You're going to get porch pirates either way, but I just think it looks more professional. If we want to throw a sticker on there that says fragile, we can.
Yeah, there's times where we'll have
Something flying
a
around.
retail box that's in really good condition. So I'll just bubble the heck out of it on the inside and make sure it's wrapped and there's nothing loose to move around or scratch or break. And then just throw a label on the box if the box is in good condition. No problem. But that's not a lot. That is of such a rare occasion for our inventory that it's just something that we do to make it look presentable.
Well, and Tommy's right. Cubic is cubic, whether you use a box or a bag. But I can tell you that the average cost of a box is about $1 something. Now, of course, there's some that are smaller, but I mean, if you're keeping and maintaining inventory of boxes. So let's say I've got this box, I'm going to double box it, right? Let's say that's your way. You're going to put this box inside of a little bit bigger box, and all's good. Well, I'm spending like 5 cents, 5 to 10 cents, maybe 10 cents on the larger ones for these poly bags. So as far as double boxing, yeah, maybe using 10, 15 cents worth of bubble wrap plus a 10-cent poly. I'm saving 50 to 75 cents per item I ship, simply because I'm not using another box. I can take a random thing. I can say, I got this tape measure someone bought from me, and we can throw this in about 5 layers of bubble wrap, and depending on the weight, I'd probably throw this in it would be a USPS padded envelope because it's over a pound. But let's say it was under a pound. I just throw it in a poly mailer. You'd probably throw it into maybe a small box. And I can promise you it's going to arrive just the same, except that you may be spending a little bit more on the box itself. So for me, it keeps the weight down. The box is going to be heavier than a poly bag. You're probably looking at 3-4 ounces for a box, maybe 5 ounces for a box. Poly mailer is not going to be any more than an ounce, if that. And if you're teetering between being under a pound and going over that next pound, it could actually make a huge difference in what you're getting charged on that package as well. So there's a lot of different factors that steer us to use poly bags over boxes. Let's see. Kim Sharp's in the house. Hi, John and Jenna and everyone. Haven't been able to make a live in a while. Happy to be here. Savage Pickers is with us. Hope you're feeling better. See, Biscuit says, Mike, you made John so happy that he screamed and lost his voice. No, I mean, it was just one of those things. It's
he's all, oh no, he didn't. Because we're laying in bed, and that's when he checks all his emails, and he's like, no, he did not. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so he told me, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. This
guy has a heart of gold.
Yeah, he does. And so I'm going to try to get this so we can instead of having you move. Tommy says, I'll buy you a cookie if you make it to Ohio. All right. Well, I'm going to hold you to it. That cruise boat hopefully has a place. Cookies. Yeah. I like chocolate chip. Susan says, oh, wow. I used to be from Cleveland, Ohio, now in Fort Worth, Texas. So it looks like we're going to be doing some yard sales that weekend, I guess. I don't know where I'd ship anything if I bought something, but I guess we'll have to ship it home. I'm not going to try to take it onto a flight.
We'll figure that out.
BXX32 says, so frustrated this week, John. Lost a chargeback. Buyer originally claimed just didn't like it on eBay, and I declined his return. In turn, he went berserk, opened a chargeback for it didn't recognize, which eBay protected me from. 3 weeks later, he updated the chargeback reason. The item didn't match description or photos. Outrageous. Uploaded all the proof. And yet 7 days later, eBay hit me with a $20 dispute fee. I did get the fee waived by CS, but this entire deal was just disgusting and criminal.
Wow.
So I would have contacted somebody in the dispute department. I would have, and it's like, look, it may be a $10 item. I don't know. But the fact you got the $20 fee waived, but I would have said, look, I don't care what you got to do. You guys see the chronological events here. Didn't like item, ain't the same as item not described. They had the option to originally choose item not described and to avoid this whole mess. Of course, that forces a return on your hand. The fact is they chose the real reason. Okay. There was a remorse return. Then they came back and tried to use a different lie to get their credit card company to give them the item and their money back. And bottom line is, anyone that's reasonable and not reading from a script at eBay, which you got to find the right person, will see, and that has power, by the way, will be able to see that you did everything within your power and this buyer was just fishing. And I don't care if they make the buyer whole. They have a tendency to do that at eBay, but they shouldn't leave you hanging. So hopefully they gave you the money back for the purchase as well. Victor says, clap for the Wolfman. Wolfman Jack, 99.5. So hopefully you guys, and I was listening to the Wolfman Jack thing, and he was like, yeah, he's into R&B. That's kind of cool. No One Design says you have to accept returns on eBay. There's no such thing as no returns. I love it where people just have no returns, and I think that's
we learned that early on.
Mike says, I'm going to bring an extra empty suitcase with me to the rally so I can fill it up with yard sale buys. I could see myself hitting the UPS store, though, sending that back because, I don't want to send anything back through a flight. They'll lose it. Biff says, a lot of people won't want to hear this, but my 90-day is an all-time high, and I'm up 40% over 2022. Well,
that's awesome.
I want to hear it. There's a lot of people who are looking to justify why they're not doing well. And look, I'm looking for an answer as to why I'm not doing well, but I know that I'm doing better, even with a bad, I'd say bad. I mean, with not as good couple days. I know that a lot of that's on me. I mean, I haven't been up to listing as many items as I have before I got sick. But I'm still making sales, guys. I'm making sales even at a better clip than what I just had one store. And this is just one store that I was telling you about. I still have sales on the other account. Look, we got to put our own. We have to be responsible for our own success. If you're not selling as well as you used to on eBay, then chances are, there's problems with eBay. I'm not going to say there's not, but chances are you could do something different. But I see so many people, even a lot of people who claim that they're successful, so many people that are still continuing to blame servers and this and that. And we'll talk about them on this channel because I feel like it's good to know what some of the obstacles you're up against. But at the end of the day, no one's going to stop you from listing $500 worth of merchandise today, except for you and your ability to do so, your situation. eBay has nothing to do with that. So, your situation is going to dictate, and what you do with that situation is going to dictate whether or not you make money in this site. And yes, there are some things that are going to make flipping not easy, but you got to learn to overcome that and stop using that as a crutch or as an excuse.
I mean, in life, there's constant obstacles in life. Do you give up? No, you find another way, and you find the way that works for you, and you keep going and you keep pushing. This is no different.
Right. And right, Tommy's right in this case. eBay has nothing to do with the chargeback. The credit card company makes the decision, but the credit card company doesn't levy the $20 fee on the seller.
Yeah, which
The credit card company doesn't give a rat's about seller protection that's instituted and from eBay. I'm talking about eBay needs to back the seller with seller protection if it's obvious that the buyer is continually changing the story, and you can't just keep changing why you want to return the item just to get the outcome you're looking for. Tyson McCulley says, seems like unless you promote with a crazy percentage, eBay won't barely promote your items on Google. What are your thoughts? I'm thinking that more and more people are starting to up their promoted rates. And as I can't even think of the right word. As a result of that, if you're only promoting at 2%, 3% under the requested rate or the recommended rate, then you're going to be behind those who actually do. It just makes sense. Do I think it's a great program? No, I don't think it's a great program, but it's the program we're working with. This is what we have to deal with as sellers. So that is why your success really isn't going to be what eBay does to you or what they don't implement on you or what you feel obligated to do, like utilizing higher promoted rates. Your success is going to come from your sourcing, how well you can source. I'm finding items that I'm buying for $4 or $5 that I can sell for over 100. So I can start my price at $100, throw a best offer designation on the listing, accept an offer for 75 and be happy, take that money and move on, right? Where some people will be like, man, this is going for 100. I'm into it for 40. If I go 75 after eBay gets me with fees, then, I'm not making a whole lot. It's not worth my time. So you put yourself into a different situation where these things are just kind of more of a nuisance than they are game changers. And so I don't want eBay and their policies to get into my way of being able to make some kind of money and income. So therefore, I'm going to source better, which is what I did back in the middle of the end of January, early February. And it has totally changed my game. I'm very uncomfortable, guys, the way I source. I'm very uncomfortable. It is not what I've wanted to source. It's not the kind of items I've been wanting to source. I'm sourcing random crap, guys. And I say crap, it's crap. I guess you can call it crap. I'm sourcing random things. I just picked up the hell do they call it? It's if I can get to it here real quick. Like my internet, it just
that's another
lately.
thing. Internet's been psycho.
I picked up a PureView 20 cal face shield with helmet. What the hell do I know about that? I picked up just all kinds. I've been selling cat litter boxes. I don't even own a freaking cat. Never would I own a cat. Not saying that cats are not saying that cat owners are bad. I just don't like cats. In that I don't hate cats, but I will never own one because, I don't believe in animals jumping on my refrigerator and crap at night, knocking crap over. Back to selling coffee makers. Been selling a lot of record players, those Victrola record players. Selling like bathroom fans. Just stuff, guys. And look, I may not ever be in the market for any of these things. You got to look beyond what you like and what you think is good when you're buying on eBay. Forget all that. Look at what is this going to cost me? And then what am I going to make? And if it's something that may be off the wall and that there's some solds, I don't even utilize my 40-40 method right now because I'm so far below that with the way I source right now. I don't even need that formula. So I can hold on to a $2 item that's going to sell for 100 and be happy with it because I know eventually it's going to get sold. And that's the strategies that I'm implementing, but it means I'm dealing with larger items, dealing with stuff that I don't want to deal with. I don't want to test the cat box, but guess what? That's what I'm doing because that's what is making me money. I could gravitate. I still got a bunch of shoes out there and I still list them. But before all this, that was my main focus. I'm like, okay, let's get the shoes up. Well, guess what? The shoes, I mean, unless you're selling the stuff that Tommy sells, and I checked out his store. Um, Unless you're selling that kind of stuff and have access to that kind of stuff, then you need to find what's going to give you that margin where you can make a deal with somebody. They could feel good about what they bought. You could feel like, hey, I still 10x my money and got rid of this fast, and I can put this into more merchandise. No One Design says, doesn't matter if you put it in your listing to tell your friends or family or put up posters all over you still have to accept returns. You do. So all you're doing, if you're putting no returns in your listing, you are fooling some of the buyers, but not all of them.
You're shaking the whole
Yeah,
thing.
you're fooling some of the buyers into thinking that you don't have to take returns. So some of them might say, okay, well, I guess I'm stuck with this. I'll just never buy from this person again. But you're going to be faced with that buyer who knows better, and they are going to force a return on you. You're going to have to pay for the label still. And all you've done is succeeded to lower your items in search rank because you've given eBay, a listing that is not up to their standards. And therefore you're going to be lower than you would hope. And there's a lot of sellers out there wanting to know, well, why am I not showing in higher in search? Why am I not making the sales? Because you're not playing eBay's game. You're in their sandbox wanting to think that like you have your own Shopify or your own brick and mortar. You could set your rules, but you're playing by eBay's rules. If you want to succeed, you got to play the game that they want you to play. Picky Ricky says, definitely a problem with my traffic because I'm only get 500,000 impressions, but it seems it should be getting at least 1.5 million. So when you're getting lower impressions, it's a number of things. If we're dealing with an item that is a desirable item and you're not getting the impressions you think you should be getting, then it ties into your price, your title, and the quality of listing. And in my opinion, the quality of the photo. If they see someone that looks like they just did a 40-yard dash in front of the item they're trying to photo, and it doesn't look clear, or it's a bad angle, few people are going to click on that and move on to the next item. So again, Ricky, I would challenge you to go in and find one problem with your listing, and try to be as critical as you can, and say, you know what, I need to do this better, and get in there and make the changes. JRKR 1964. No, it happens to me also, having really good days and then they drop down even though I'm not doing anything different. Do notice that my impressions go down and then my sales go down. Yeah, my impressions gone down the last 5 days. It's just because, I'm out here just doing the bare minimum because I've been so, not feeling good at all. There's a certain joy to me to get out there and to work and to do these. I mean, I can get in my zone, have my music going. I mean, I can't even sing in the garage, guys. That kind of like, well, I guess I'm not going to throw my music on. So there's a certain joy that I have when I'm out in the garage. I can get in my little zone and just enjoy myself. I have a really good time doing it. And the last week, it's like, let me just do what I have to do so I can go back and just kind of relax and lay down. So,
and one other thing, don't forget to hit the like, guys. Your sale is waiting for you. Leonard has had 2 since we've been live.
Savage Pickers should just never drive again. Our new car that we purchased after our car was totaled last July was totaled 2 days ago. Oh no.
That's awful.
It's time to get paid.
Oh.
It's time to get paid. It's time to, if that means that your back hurts now all of a sudden. I hope no one's hurt, by the way, really. But
yeah, I mean, I get that the car's
time
totaled,
to get paid.
Are you guys okay?
Your time is, just to mess with this is worth something. I would be on the horn with the insurance company. I had a friend whose son was 18. It's like a number of years ago in California. And he rear-ended this elderly couple in Palm Springs or whatever. And of course, nothing major happened to them. They had to get work done on the car. Did you know they tried to sue him for like $2 million? And of course, they settled at a friend of ours. They settled at the maximum coverage, $30,000 in addition to,
Wow.
and it's like, come
Said
on.
it was from an impaired driver again.
I know.
Wow.
Scott says ended listings and sold similar or on entire store 5,500 items to get my sales rolling, and then got popped with 2 Veros in 10 days with some exact listings and real. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that listing that a supervisor said, "Oh, you're the hell was that acne cream? You guys know what I'm talking
Proactive.
that proactive stuff." And it was approved by a supervisor to sell. Was on there for 3 months. I did the sell similar routine and immediately it got snapped. So yeah, it's one of the things that you do, but you put yourself at risk for being into a Vero search, I guess. But
That's
no one design says sales numbers are doing great for the past few months. That's good. That strangers in the house. Geez, I don't realize you've been so sick. Thank you so much for helping me through email. I would have waited to ask if I knew you were sick, but no need to wait to ask. I'm just
Yeah.
laying in bed anyway, looking at the email. So
he needs something to do while I
Yeah.
hog the TV.
yeah, really. Carol says, "Hi all. Sorry you're sicky, John. Yeah, I'm sicky. But I'm getting better. So it just sounds bad. Once I get past the aliens in my head when people talk it's in my ears, then I think everything's gonna be fine. We have 130 people watching this poor dude that sounds horrible talking about eBay. They're watching. Thank you guys. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy the content. That's really all I ask for. It helps the channel. Process says like the new social app side things eBay has added on Seller Hub. Click on shop tab. You should see pop-up of new social added. You should check that out. I don't know.
Is it on the app or on the?
It says the app.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. Carol says even Jen looks sad. Hugs. We're not sad. We're just.
Aw.
It's just. I hope I don't look sad. I mean, my voice is
He's
sad.
a lot better. He just sounds like really worse than I'm just beginning this journey, and so
It's a
my
tough
throat
journey.
feels like razor blades, and so it's just
Yep.
it's rough. And it's all starting to come into the sinuses and all that. It's a bad place to be.
It's one of these things. It's like I was telling Jenna the other day. It's like I'm trying to blow my nose and it causes me to cough. Now, what the heck is that all about? And it's like I blow my nose and all of a sudden I just start coughing uncontrollably. And of course, all this going on, the coughing and the clearing of the throat is what's caused this to my vocal cords.
So where did he say to go?
The app.
I am on the app.
Okay, he says go to the app, and then he says to.
Yeah, you went too far.
I went too far.
I like the new social. It's right
Okay,
above.
okay. Go to the Seller Hub. Click on Shop tab. Seller Hub. Wow. Well, let me put it this way. They don't make it easy to get to if they're looking to get a little social. But see, here's the problem with that. Okay. It may seem cool, this whole social thing to it. Why does eBay need to get social? Why do I need to have a relationship with my buyer? I guess if you have a store and you maybe sell postcards and you are hoping they come back to buy more postcards, I can get that part of it. But for the rest of us, which is the remainder, like 80% of us, we don't need all that. eBay needs to focus on, I don't mind them adding these kind of things once they fix. I'm still waiting for payment, guys. I mean, look, jeez, I've accepted offers.
I've had 4 have to fall off of the 4-day waiting period over the last couple of days. And it's absolutely one of the biggest pet peeves of mine. Oh my God. It drives me crazy.
I mean, look, eBay came out, what was it, the end of January? Was it the end of January, early February? I forget at this point. Over a month ago, and said, we're going to be getting this fixed. Come on, guys. At this point, I don't want eBay to tell me anything until they've done it. And say, oh, by the way, we fixed this. You can get payment right away. because they're not willing to communicate with us clearly anyway. So don't even promise us anything anymore. Just do it. And then when you've done it, we'll give you the flowers. We'll give you the kudos for all the good things that you do. But until then, you're just setting. It's one of those things in customer service that I would used to say, I would rather a customer find out that they got something pleasant than to promise them and it not happen. And I think eBay's kind of lost sight of that. Again, we're just a number. Our experience doesn't matter to them. Otherwise, they learn from these things and stop promising things they can't deliver on. And I hope they finally do, because I still have 2 on this account waiting to pay. No One Design says, "Hey, John, can you say, girl, I don't know. I don't know why I can't get enough of your love, baby." Hopefully, Tommy loved that.
Wow.
Kelly Deb says, "Hi, John, Jenna, and everyone."
Hello.
Michelle Mernick says, "My something new is going to have to be changing my inventory. I want to see what I can find that is need rather than a want." That's where you start, but that's not to say wants can't sell.
Yeah.
Wants will sell, but if you start gravitating towards, I mean, look, no one wakes up in the morning and says, "You know what? I really want a new bathroom fan." We need one, by the way. I probably should keep one next time. We got one that sounds like a damn roulette wheel. But no one wakes up in the morning and says, "You know what? I really, really wanted one of those new bathroom fans that have a light that heat up. There's some that heat up the damn room."
Mhm.
And
I would like that.
I didn't even know that existed. But people are buying them from me.
I would like that.
People are buying them from me. So, look, a lot of times we sell what we like. I like, this is cute. I like to sell this. This makes me happy to go buy these at yard sales. And then I can take nice, pretty pictures of them and then put them up on eBay and sell them and share my enjoyment for this item with someone else. But if you're doing it as a hobby, perfect. If you're doing it for the longevity to make money, to replace your 9 to 5 or to supplement your income, if it ain't working, it's time to move on. And that's what I have to say about that. John, is that Barry at the door? He wants his voice back. Let's see. Keena says, "Drink elderberry tea with natural honey, lemon, and cinnamon stick."
Yeah, I have some tea. Then
I don't want to torture myself.
Yeah, I do. I drink that, but he won't.
I've never liked tea.
He is so picky. He doesn't like anything.
My mom used to make tea.
Steak and potatoes.
She used to make tea. She would actually get the water and the tea bags and put them outside in a big jug with the lid on it, put it outside. And it's like, all it is water that's been sitting outside in the sun. And it never tasted good to me. And so I never drank tea. Sorry. I'll drink water until—
That's not how we make tea anymore. But
well, that's how.
Well, back in the day, my mom did the same thing.
Yeah.
They used to sit out on the barbecue in the sun.
Kim says, "Worked on a COVID unit at the hospital for 1.5 years, was heartbreaking and so mentally and physically exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Praying for you both." Yeah, it's
exhausting for sure. Like I was up doing the shipping this morning, and it was taking everything. And I wasn't even doing like really big items like normal. The past few days we've had quite a few large items. But today I had, a decent size ones. It wasn't large, but I was exhausted after that.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's terrible.
It's, you've lived your life long enough, most of you out there, to know what a cold is. And, you feel bad for a day and then you have some symptoms here and there, and then you're done with it after a few days. COVID ain't no damn joke. It's like cold on steroids. And it's been like the 3 times we've had it, it's been something different. This one to me has been more of a pain in the ass than anything else, because it just wants to do something different.
It's lingering.
Yeah.
See, I haven't had it since 2020 when it all started. That's when I first had it. And then now this one is kicking my butt.
Leonard says, "Got the sale for hitting the like button." For those of you who don't know, if you hit the like button within 24 hours, you're going to get a sale.
You're on his first sale. He responds
Oh,
later
okay.
and says, I got another one.
I'm saying you're going to get at least one. And telling you it works. There's a lot of people that comment going, I can't believe it. I tried it. It worked. It's like a karma sale, that type of thing. Keena says the elderberry tea broke the fever and I got better when I had the big C virus. I never really had a fever though.
And,
none of that.
Well, the first time we ever got it back in 2020, yes, he had a major fever. But this time we haven't had fevers. And I swear to you that he brought it home from the bins.
Either that or ASD, because we went to ASD on the Sunday, stopped at the bins for an hour on that Monday. And by Tuesday night, I had the stabbing pain in my neck. The secret's out though. The secret's out. I didn't want to put it out there. So hit the like button, guys.
It's gonna turn into Jane and Jenna.
Wine night. Hi, John and Jenna. My son and I are reselling partners and are inspired by you guys and others. Also big Raiders fans. Awesome. I have my Raiders colors with my Angels gear. So it's baseball season. Tommy Bernard says, Jenna, don't let him fall back into the liquidation again, or he'll be getting the slow sale videos again. Yeah. You know what? But here's the thing. I am in liquidation right now. What I'm doing is
what
liquidation.
We're doing right now is liquidation. It's just a different way of doing it, and it's working. And so right now, I mean, I always have a hesitation because I'm afraid that it's going to dry up. But the way that we're getting and the way that we're sourcing right now, I don't feel that, feeling of being in fear that it's going to disappear like the liquidation that we experienced before.
Yeah, I'm spending 2+ hours a day, every day, sourcing online. That's kind of as far as I'll go. I'm searching for items, searching for things, and searching for deals. And I'm finding deals that I'm picking up 2 to 3 times a week. Just my SUV loaded full of liquidation goods. And
but we won't go back to, I mean, if liquidation went back to what it was in 2019, which we all know it won't because there's a lot of factors that went into that. But if down the road, there was regulations on liquidation,
it ain't never going to be the same again.
I don't believe that it will, but if it did, I would be open to it. But how would we know unless we tried?
Well,
but see, that would be a gamble for us. I don't think that we'll ever go back to that kind of liquidation sourcing.
Well, in my opinion, liquidation isn't going to be the same as it was back in 2019, 2020, because that was pre-bin store. You got a lot of demand on these liquidation goods, and more demand means it's harder for the average person to get a deal on a pallet. As it is anyway, even if you have free reign of getting pallets, only I'd say 25% of the pallets are really worth buying to resell on eBay anyway. A lot of these pallets are more suited for like your marketplace deals because the items are just way too big. But like I said, I'm going to be working with this liquidator. Very, very, I would say
it's very promising.
Yeah, they're very well known.
We met him at ASD.
Yeah.
And he was showing us a lot of things, about the company and how they work and all, what their process. So it sounds very promising. That's why we're not going to, obviously we're going to do a video on it. Yeah. But we're not jumping in. We would have, before we would have been like, oh yeah, this is great. Let's start buying now. But no, we're very hesitant and we have our guard up. And I told him that we do not trust companies like theirs because of what we've had to deal with.
Yeah. And, they explained, look, this particular company, they're a contract holder. They don't care what comes into these truckloads. They don't want to pick anything out. So, maybe they'll get a truckload and they'll say, okay, I've got a bunch of clothing. We'll make a clothing pallet. We'll make an electronics pallet, that type of thing, but they're not taking anything out for their own personal gain. So, we'll see how this particular pallet looks. It's going to be something that, I'm always looking to add sponsors to the channel if it makes sense for the channel. If it's something that I think that other people would be able to benefit from, to maybe, try out for themselves. So we'll see. We'll have that video to you here this week, but I'm very excited to finally open a pallet again. It's been over a year since I
been a
really
long
got
time. There's a thrill in it, just like everybody, you go to the yard sales or the bin, not for me, the bins, but the yard sales, and you're excited and you see you're just like, oh yeah, that looks great. Let's, that's going to make us a good amount of money. That's what we feel excitement. It's the thrill of the thrifting, if you will. It's exciting for us, and so we look forward to it. I've been asking him. I'm like, have you heard from him? Because we saw him at ASD. Like, what was that? Two weeks ago now.
Yeah. And
I'm like, he said it was supposed to be coming last week if he could get it all in order in time, and so I said, did you hear from him? He's like, oh, my email.
Yeah. And then they said that they had the pallet ready for us. And this is going to be like Sam's Club's general merchandise. So he said they're going to have the pallet ready, and they had it ready the Friday before ASD. And he said, if I'd have known a day earlier, I'd have been able to bring it. I'm like, glad you didn't, because I would have had to unload it into my car, my SUV, and it would have kind of killed the whole unboxing thing. So we're going to, do a video here and show you guys what it's about. And, let's hope that we found a supplier that not only we can use, but we can share with you guys as well. So Eddie says sales dropped this month because I was sick. I was actually fine with that because I didn't feel like doing anything. Hope you two feel better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Zinnick says, find anything cool on your recent trip?
Oh, you went to California for...
I didn't look for anything. I was in golf mode, and
he was golfing.
Yeah, but I was going to make a video at some point, but no, I was in golf mode then.
He was just enjoying his friends.
Let's see. Just pray that liquidation pallet isn't size 2 shoes again.
Oh no.
And then Thomas says Obamacare, $300 a month for top plan, no copays. But okay.
We looked into that. I don't see such a plan that we have to have certain kind of coverage.
They base it on your income.
And obviously our incomes are different.
Well, but different states too. Different states have different
states. There was nothing less than $800.
I think there's one for 6
for the two of us. And you have a $7,000 deductible per person before they pay a dime. And then once you paid your $7,000 per person, then they'll start to cover, they'll cover 80%. You still have to pay 20% on top of, a $25 copay here. I go to, when we had our other insurance, I go to specialists. So all of those costs, they add up. I could go to the doctor right now and just pay the coverage, or pay the doctor visit, and weed out all of the other BS so that I don't have to pay. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, America has the worst medical coverage for Americans in the entire world. We have the worst healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I'm going to be out $7,000 in a year, that's like, she can go like once a month and pay $250 for the visit and go every month. And I'd still be better off doing that.
Right.
Then,
I mean, I had to go get blood work. It was probably a year ago now, but I went and got a full panel of blood work for $120.
Yeah. And you go there, you tell them you don't have insurance, they give you a discount anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not to us, it is not worth it.
Yeah. That's the tough part about being a reseller, right? You got, if you're used to getting benefits from an employer, see, that's that's something you don't figure into when you're considering quitting your 9 to 5. If you have good medical insurance,
Yeah, that was when we lost our jobs. That was my biggest fear, because at the time I was the insurance carrier and I covered all 4 of our children and my grandchildren. So when we lost our jobs, our entire family lost our medical, dental, and vision, and we didn't pay a dime. We didn't, because we both
never a
worked for
copay.
the railroad. We didn't have a copay. There were no deductibles. There was nothing. I paid not 1 cent for anything except $240 for all of our insurance. It was a rough place to be in, let me tell you. And both of my daughters were pregnant at the time.
Current medical is nothing more than catastrophic event insurance, where if you get into a catastrophic situation where you're in the hospital for a long time, then you're not going to be, bankrupted because of the expenses. That's pretty much it. So you're basically, it's another insurance policy, but it's not the way medical insurance used to be, at least in.
It's not. It's really not. It's a horrible place to be in. I mean, it is very scary knowing that, if we do get in a car accident and we have to go to the hospital, that scares the shit out of me. My back went out on Sunday. I was mopping and my back went out and I fell basically to my knees and I couldn't get up right away. And I have been down for the count, not only just from being, us being sick, but my back went out and my whole left side has been very stiff. And so, but I can't go to, just go willy-nilly, just go to the ER. And I mean, I could, but I'm not going to, because I know the pain's going to go away.
Well, that's another thing. COVID can hit your muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time we had it, it's like I was walking like a 90-year-old man to go to the test. Couldn't get out of the car, and it can really zap your muscle strength. That's for sure.
Anyway,
but Brian Leda wants to report that he hit the like button and got 2 sold items in 5 minutes for $210.
Woo!
So
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm telling you, it works. It works. Michelle, it works. Hit the like button and just got $36 sale.
Yeah, I just broke my nail.
Woohoo! My fat cats live to see another meal. Thomas says you have to put the bag size and the dimensions flat. It doesn't change. So bag doesn't save any money. 99. Yeah. Again,
no, we're not doing it for saving money.
Well, it's supplies. It's all about supplies. It's supplies and the weight. So if you're using a double box situation,
and I'd rather keep poly bags on hand than boxes. They drive me insane. They're always around my workspace.
Royal says 2 years ago, you did a vid on not being able to use refund tool for restocking fees despite a top rated seller because of very high return metrics. You said you were going to ask eBay to adjust. I assume they didn't. So if your returns are extremely high, you're not going to no longer be top rated seller. So if by the 20th of the month or whatever your cutoff is for them to evaluate your account, if they've determined your returns are very high as compared to your competition, then you're not going to even be considered top rated seller to have the tool unless you're offering free returns. What I've noticed is, and here's a benefit for selling everything. If you're an everything seller, if you get a lot of returns, you have to have a minimum of 10 returns within that category. Otherwise, it's not counted against you. Okay, so maybe you've had 3 or 4 returns in this category, 3 or 4 returns in that category. It's never counted against you, even though technically they put it all together, you'd be very high. So that's just something to consider, because if you're a niche seller, you're going to get all your returns in that one particular category, and that's where it really can get you. So, if you can access the refund tool, you're not supposed to utilize an adjustment to use restocking fee. You're not supposed to charge the buyer a restocking fee anymore. That's why it cracks me up. You see these listings saying, yeah, all returns will have a 15% restocking fee. And it's like, okay, well, I guess, if I'm that buyer and I have to return the item, I'm going to have to call eBay to get my money because you're not supposed to be charging a restocking fee. It says only one here 1 second. Hope you feel better. I enjoy watching the recording. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jovia Juggler says, I hear a snot bubble coming on, but
yeah,
well, we would do
it's
that.
probably.
We would do that if we had National Snot Bubble Day, but I don't think that's what today is. Piggy Ricky says, I put eBay tape on all my boxes. I want to give eBay the impression right off the mark. I don't know. It just kind of changes.
I just think for one, it covers up where the bag has to be folded
Yes.
or rolled. That's my pet peeve is I want it to look as clean as possible. And so I like using the eBay tape on the edges.
So this is in a huge poly mailer. Okay. This is like a 24 by 24. We get them as large as 36 by 24. You can make a pair of shorts out of them if you want. But no, this has so much excess sometimes that you use the eBay wrap or eBay tape so it doesn't show the folds. The clear tape would show the poly bag, and this doesn't. So that's kind of what we do. And we use Shippo, but I don't want to pay them $10 a month for the same services I can get on Pirate Ship. Uncircumcised Andy. I don't use Priority Cubic often, but I'm pretty sure on Pirate Ship that it costs the same without the poly bag. You're not wrong. It's the same. But again, I have a random item. You're going to put this in a box or bag. And if it's teetering at going over 2 pounds, that bag with the bubble wrap is going to keep it under 2 pounds and it's going to cost me a little less than if you use that box. Purple Cactus Sales. Hello, just join your chat. Return from getting more great items to sell on eBay. There you go.
Awesome.
Disgruntled Octopus. Good morning, all. I'm going back in time to start from the beginning. Yes, please do. I think, I wasn't really prepared to have much of a live stream, but it's actually been pretty good today. So, No Undesign 2 says there was an incident near Apex, North Carolina, where some group of porch pirates was setting up cheap wireless door cams around the rich-looking houses, hidden, pointing at the door. When package came, they get a notice.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. It's going to keep happening. Look, if people can go to a Macy's, this is like California, if you go like to Macy's and grab $899 worth of stuff, all you get is a misdemeanor. Well, people can do that all day long. Kentucky Living says, I'm liking his voice.
Kind of sexy, right?
Yeah. My country album's coming out next week. Marco Carpio says, I believe you mentioned this before, but how do you deal with a buyer after they pay? They demand you ship it a certain way other than what is described in the shipping details. Would you refund or comply? No. Okay. You get a lot of these expert buyers who say, please triple box this with no less than 3 inches of bubble wrap on every side. I would let them know this is how I plan on shipping it. Appreciate your input. However, we have insurance on this. We're going to ship it so that it does comply. If something happens, then the insurance will take care of it. But we generally don't have problems when we ship our items. I'm not going to use 4 boxes and 5 inches of bubble wrap on each side. We will protect it and pack it carefully. However, if you don't want us to ship it, certainly an option to you as well, if you feel compelled to do that. Now, if they send you a message through the eBay Messenger, then that's kind of how I'd reply. If they put one of those little yellow sticky notes on your shipment, I'm not replying anything. I'm just going to do what I do. And in the back of my mind, it may propel me to try to be a little even more careful than I already am with, what we do with shipping, because we just know that some people are a little bit more picky than others. I don't want a negative feedback out of something stupid. So if it means to add a little bit more bubble wrap, but it would depend on how the message is relayed, I guess. Roman, how you doing?
He's been here for a while.
I know. But I mean, I've been behind for a while. So Tommy already at the reseller rally right now, signing autographs.
Oh, Jesus.
Thomas says, Roman, ever since watching you, John is stuck in a fake Russian accent. I was going to actually, you know what, Roman, I was going to actually send Roman a super chat the other night. And I was going to put, pay that man his money and that's a bad Russian accent. I just can't do a Russian accent when I have no voice. But ever watch Rounders?
You have a voice.
If you ever watch Rounders KGB, Teddy, I wanted to send him a super chat just so he would say that, because he would sound spot on.
I know. I'm like, do it. He'll think it's funny. He's like, no, I don't want him to get offended.
In Soviet Russia, you don't get COVID. COVID gets you.
That is a fact. COVID does get you.
Let's see. Anytime Roman says is okay, at least anyone can understand him. PTS Treasures, I went through 100 listings yesterday just to make sure it was clean. Did a 50 item sale similar yesterday also, and we're honing in our buying practices. Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it. You got to make changes in this business. You can't just get comfortable and think, wow, we killed it last year. We can be in cruise control this year. You got to look for things, trends, look at your traffic. Why is my traffic down? Why am I not selling this item? I was able to sell it before. So you got to constantly be looking at making changes. My paper route says never give up. It's having a terrible sales day yesterday, 4 sales, and it was evening already. Wasn't eBay impressions and views were solid. Then a buyer came in and bought 20 items. There you go.
Wow.
And it's going to happen that way. You can't control what eBay, who eBay sends to your items. You just got to keep putting stuff out there. Picky Ricky says video game consoles is what's selling best for me. I guess I don't matter what economy does. People want to play video games. Yeah. People will always be a market, and that's a want that'll do well even through bad times. And Circumcised Andy says, imagine having a sandbox full of caca in your house. No cats allowed. Yeah, I'm just not a cat person. Never the smell I don't like of the cat box situation. I don't like it. Anytime Picker says, ever since I started selling on eBay back in 1997, Tommy told me the best way to source is right in your basement without getting up from the chair. And then Tommy says, sell-through rate, buy cost, and ASP are the only things that really matter. I rarely list anything with less than 90 days turnover. And even then, I mean, you could say, wow, this thing has good sell-through rate. And then for whatever reason, it doesn't sell right away. PTS Treasure says we bought a camping igniter for 80 cents at a church yard sale, and it sold 2 hours after listing for 55. Wow. 80 cents?
Wow.
Why not just give them the dollar? I don't know. It's weird. I don't want the change. I don't want to deal with change. When I'm in a yard sale, I don't even want to have quarters. I don't even think I'll even have anything under a quarter for change.
In different areas, people will be like, hey, will you take 50 cents for this?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say if you had multiples of that, I'm trying to figure out, okay, $1 is probably the cheapest I'll ever offer anyone. I don't know. That's just me. Because I don't want to look, maybe they're not dealing with change. I just don't want to deal with, I don't want to deal with change. It's going to go into my car anyway. It's going to go sitting in that little cubby hole.
We don't carry cash around very often, ever. Well, I don't ever. He does sometimes.
When we go out and about, I'll carry my bankroll money in case I want to go, goof around at like a casino or play some cards or something. Picky Ricky says, so far in 2023, I'm up 30% net sales. Mm-hmm. Last week can be crap, but just build on the good, the positive, and keep doing what you were doing before. Sachi Jones, 85, storage becomes a problem if sell-through rate is low. Yeah, you're right. And you just got to, okay, so if you're running into storage issues, you got to go. A lot of people have the set it and forget it mentality on eBay. So once I've done listed the item, I've done my job with that item and just let it sell itself. A lot of times we have something wrong with the listing and we got to go back and check to find out what's going on and make adjustments. No One Design says economy, like I said, is subjective. You can make money in every stage of the economy. If you think otherwise, you need to reevaluate your understanding on how the economic market works. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a market for things regardless of what the economy does. You're going to have fewer buyers in a bad economy, but you're still going to have buyers. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to get those buyers on your item if you're not priced properly or don't have the right item as before. Piggy Ricky says, bought another phone last week to clear up my photos. I'm also selling similar, making adjustments. There you go. Leonard got a second sale during the live. That's awesome. Tommy says, I get between 10 and 12 million impressions per month with only 350 listings. 100% has to do with item demand. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you're selling quality shoes. You obviously have a supplier. You have a good thing going. And you just got to keep going, running with it. Mike says that you're absolutely right about sourcing correctly. I was at an estate sale today and they wanted 250 for 10 Lionel pre-war trains. Okay. I've seen those in some of the listings I'm looking through. I got them for $6 a piece and have been listing them for 50 to 80 each. Yes.
Wow.
Those Lionel train sets are hard to get. And I'm trying to get into them for under 20 for the set. These are like open box return Lionel train sets. And I can't even get them at that price. I get outbid all the time. Let's see. Tommy says it's to put your items in other platforms, Instagram, Pinterest. The people that buy into the thought Google brings in sales should love it.
I still don't see it. So maybe it's on the
the social thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care if they're trying to be like Poshmark and all these other sites. I'm just going to focus on what I know on eBay. And if people want to play the social media game, then they can. I don't have time for that.
I'm not interested.
Let's see. My paper route says go to edit store. You'll see the new social tab. Go to edit store. Okay. I don't even know where to freaking begin on that. I guess I can go there and edit the store, but here it is. New social page for store sellers. Track new buyers and drive more social visits to your store and listings. Link your social account and create custom posts for Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Link securely to your social accounts. Create engaging multi-image posts and hashtags to stand out on social. Save time. Post to multiple social channels at once. So what this is eBay is asking you, the seller, to drive your own traffic to your listings. So it's not that you haven't paid enough for your final value fee. It isn't that you've paid enough for your 10% promoted listing fee. Let's add this feature, which now forces you to do all that for free. I'm not a fan. PTS Treasure says eBay is now being an imitator, not the imitated. Whatnot and Posh are pushing in. Third rule of business is better to be imitated than the imitator. Yeah. It's, they know that people will, post items to their following on Instagram to maybe get sales. But if you're like me, I don't got a lot of people on Instagram. I guess I don't have enough social media presence there. And so what does that do? What good is that if you don't have a big following on Poshmark? It's like we look at our following on Poshmark. I said Poshmark, Instagram. Like for Poshmark, though, we have a pretty large following on Poshmark. We have 200,000 people, 100,000 or something like that.
More than that, but yeah.
So if I share my items on Poshmark, it's going to go out to a lot of people. If you're, relatively new to Poshmark and don't play their social media game, well, you'll get sales, but when you push your items out to share, you're not going to get nearly as many eyes on your item as I can because I have all those people following me. So I don't know. I don't really think that's a fair playing field, but it is what it is. Prosser says it basically means you can share your listing to your social sales direct from eBay instead of posting links to sites temporarily, separately, or so forth. Let's kind of try to catch up. I doubt I am, but let's see. Prosser says, if you want to know more about the social thing, I can just post a link to a video that basically allows you to find it. Well, what I read was pretty much the basics of it. And it's pretty much, if you have the following on other platforms, that's an option you have to drive more traffic. TikTok says, take high doses of vitamin C and sit out in the sun for 30 minutes per day.
The bad thing
there hasn't been sun.
We haven't had any sun.
There's a lot of wind. Does that help? Jovial says, back in late 80s, a friend and I were in a fender bender, if you will, no damage. And the friend had to go to court because the plaintiff couldn't perform her wifely duties.
Wow.
TikTok says you've had COVID 3 times. I am not vaxxed. We don't play that game. I was never a fan of it because historically, any vaccine that has been given to the public has undergone years of testing, and anyone who received the vax was pretty much a test case, and I wasn't interested in being a test case for who knows what. And they're finding out that people can get it. Maybe my duration of having it wouldn't have been as long, but people are still getting it whether you get it or not. So turns out that it wasn't such a bad choice.
I mean, shoot, I've gone 3 years without having it.
Carol says, at least your voice isn't so bad. You sound like Pantera. Should I hit a couple tunes? No, because that would be more like that Memorex commercial.
Ricky said, does the dog have COVID too? No, he's just choking on his own tongue.
Yeah. Carol says, I live in Portland. You mean what's left that people don't steal out of the store? They're closing all the stores in Portland city area because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good. PTS Treasures, I got lucky last weekend, went for free shelves, and she let me pick the house for free. 99 wasn't fab, but got 50 Thomas and Friends trains. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, speaking of getting free stuff, last week, Archie shared with me, there was a post where I guess somebody was clearing out their warehouse, and they have had pallets of Uline boxes. And they said, well, we don't care. Just take whatever you can. I filled up my SUV with like a pallet and a half of, I think, 18 by 18 by 6. And then another smaller box as well. Got those for free, dirt cheap, free. And brought them back. Not only to have boxes on hand, but you guys know I sell all those LPs. And so I can just cut those things up, carve those things out, and have those LP those things, the cardboard covering the records, so that I can save, like, I think they're like 50 cents to $1 if you buy the ones that are dedicated for albums. So that was kind of cool. Let's see. Thomas says, anyone can buy from people at ASD. Don't get any for a while until you see how bad the flood is. I get the ASD vendor list free and get the same people without going. But see, most of the people at ASD are wholesalers that have, and that was another video I was wanting to put together just to show you. And I may still do that. Hey, I can buy these bottles of Dawn liquid for $2.50 a bottle, the family size. If I order 100, but will I make money on eBay? That type of thing, and to go through the different products that we took photos of and video of, and just to see can I make money off of this if I buy, in large quantities. That never caught my interest because I kind of know the answer already without going into the deep dive, that I'm not going to make money on eBay. Certainly not the way I want to, maybe at very small margins, and that's not worth my time. It's more about seeking out the liquidators in my area so that, I can build a relationship, because one liquidator might have good stuff one week and they may not have very good stuff until next month. So you got to have multiple ways of picking up inventory. And that's kind of the point in this.
Let's be real. The only reason we go to ASD is for the CBD.
The gummies. Yeah. We picked up some 1,800 milligram gummies. And when that throat pain came, said, give me one. And those things work. They don't work 100% on that kind of pain, but they do work. They will take a migraine down. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, they do.
Let's see. The process is, most of you guys might be able to benefit from pallet thing, but some of us in the UK side, other parts of the world, but would probably give us food for thought. I don't know what kind of pallets they have in. They got to have liquidation.
They have to have liquidation, I would imagine.
I mean, there's got to be a customer return situation somewhere there where there's merchandise to be had.
Can't be the only country that's got customer returns coming back.
Yeah, well, got to make money some way, somehow, right? Let's see. PT Treasures, health insurance is such a scam in this country. I think it is. It's horrible.
Yep.
No design. I get dental in Vietnam, my healthcare in Taiwan, prescription in Mexico, and it's still cheaper. But I hear there's you can go over to Mexico and get your medication and get a really good deal. That's if you can dodge the bullets, because there's that 4 people who went out there and only 2 of them came back. So that's not good. I was thinking about Mexico healthcare, but the last group that went didn't have a good results. Yeah, that's horrible. And she went there
That's terrible.
She went there
Why
for
am I laughing?
liposuction.
She went there for liposuction.
It's like, wow. And she's like,
That's terrible.
I wasn't planning not getting it. My paper route says a friend of mine's dad fought cancer for 3 years with 80/20 insurance. He died with over 200,000 in unpaid medical bills just from the 20%.
Absolutely disgusting. That just boils my blood. Boils my blood. Oh my gosh.
But we'll send more.
Get me started
we'll send that money to
on
Ukraine.
This whole medical thing.
Send it all to Ukraine. Forget it. Primetime treasure hunters in the house. Stay stateside and feel better. How you doing, Dom? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Lilac Seller says, hey all, thanks for hanging out. Marco says, I agree with Jenna. I work in healthcare as my main job, and U.S. healthcare system is a joke. Miss living in a border town, easily going to Mexico for care for a fraction of the cost. But would you now? Would you now?
Well,
I wouldn't go there.
I wouldn't, but some people will take the risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
For no reason would I go there until they fix that whole cartel problem.
I haven't been to Mexico since I went to Tijuana.
But they did.
When I was a teenager.
But they did write a nice letter saying, hey, we didn't mean to. You hear about that? They wrote a letter saying, we didn't mean to. Yeah. My paper route says we use eBay tape to hide the seams when they Frankenbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks better, I think.
Yeah.
Anytime Picker Roman says, John, Tommy accepts super chats on my half right now with his wife's permission, but I won't get to hear you say what I wanted you to say. John Malkovich rules, long live Teddy KGB. Yes. Gotta love rounders. I'm a big poker guy anyway, so gotta love rounders. Yeah, Dom, are you going to make it to the rally this year or too busy counting money? Curious about that. Not going, too busy in general. Just named president-elect of a national neuropsychological organization. Awesome. Yeah. I think Dom is a psychiatrist. Maybe I'm wrong. Psychologist, psychiatrist. I know they're not the same, but they sound the same.
Wow.
See, when your title is more than 3 words, that's bank. Yeah. So the primetime treasure hunter. Yeah. See, I should have added one more word to mine. Flipping ain't easy, yo, or something. I don't know. That'd have been worth money. Dom, Tommy said if you go to the rally, he'll make you Goodwill. He'll take you to Goodwill with him. I don't want to deal with any Goodwill while I'm out there. Yard sales sound okay, but going even to the bins that Roman goes to where there's nobody there, it doesn't even sound appealing to me. Dom says I'll meet Tommy at the East Coast one day and then take him to the primetime vault. Sounds cool. Let's see what we got here.
He's a neuropsychologist.
Prosser's had COVID twice. Not bad. Any back, as John says, I was just going to be a human guinea pig. I mean, look, they came out with vaccines throughout my lifetime, but they actually.
I don't even get the flu shot because the last time I did, it made me violently ill and I ended up in the hospital. And so I will never again.
Carol says, I'll never get the vaccine. That the virus mutates so fast, the vaccine will become obsolete. Not worth it. Either get it or you don't. If you get it, your immune system becomes stronger.
Right.
And the thing is, any vaccine that's a one and done is more appealing than, all right, well, we got to get our 3rd one this year because it's changing so much. Yeah. I'm not for it.
No. Rather not put all that crap in my body. Let somebody else be the guinea pig.
Let's see. Trying to anytime picker. Yes, Dom, very good degree. Me and Tommy only get degrees in shoe reselling.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what? I was about to buy one of those um, little deals where the shoe levitates and spins. Have you seen that? And I just I think I've got outbid a couple times. I was trying to get one, and it's like an LED light. And it looks like the letter C, and the shoe is in the middle, and it just spins. I thought that'd be kind of cool to maybe take a 20-second video of the entire shoe spinning around and put it in the listing. But yeah, it's really unnecessary. If you have a good shoe, if you have a good price, your other 12 photos are going to do a good job. But I'm kind of weird like that. I kind of think, oh, I kind of get geeked out on stupid stuff like that. So it'll probably uh, just wasted my time. So um, no one design says it's called a lazy Susan. Well, no, the shoe spins.
Yeah, the shoe
The shoe spins
spins.
in midair. It's like magnets. I guess you got to put like a metal piece inside the shoe, and then like the magnets levitate it. It's like a levitating shoe. Um, but maybe that's what it's called. But it's a
Well,
levitating
it's
shoe
not
kind
your
of thing.
typical lazy Susan.
Yeah, I haven't met Susan that's been lazy though. Lazy Susan's that little table that
Yeah,
spins.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
the thing and it spins. I
Gail
have
says I'm 70,
couple.
got all the shots, been exposed at COVID 8 times. I think the shot saved me. That's just me. I mean, what works for you? Just to
Yeah, we're
me,
not against those that have that want it. You know, a lot of my family is vaccinated, but I just I'm the one in control of my body, and I don't want anybody to make that decision for me.
yeah, it's a personal thing,
It's a
and
personal preference, and
yeah,
I'd rather not be forced to do something to my body that we don't know that's going to do any, what kind of harm it's going to do 5, 10, 15 years down the road. There has not been enough studies.
the thing that got me was even at the beginning of all this, when they first came out with the vaccine, what was the death rate? 1%, 2%, right? And the vaccine ended up causing another 1 to 2% in like deaths and major problems. I mean, you can look no further than Justin Bieber. The dude can't even have a concert because a Bell's palsy. It takes over your muscles in your face, and you can't control yourself. So it's like there's things that affect your neurological system, and I don't want to tamper with that. So that's just me. But
I'd rather let my body fail naturally than have it be forced to do so prematurely. I mean,
I learned a long time ago that the government doesn't care that much about my health. They certainly care about money. And I think that's where their motivation came from this time, because they made hand over fist, and these companies made hand over fist in, all these things. So, it is what it
there's
is.
more people dying that got the vaccine than have died of COVID.
Waiting for 10 years down the road for the ads. Have you ever been vaccine injured? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to be that person.
That's already starting. I follow a few lawyers that there's already hundreds of thousands of lawsuits against Pfizer and all the others.
And I don't care what part of the aisle you're from, left, right, center, up, down, who cares? You got to do what's best for your situation, and to have it be mandated rather than a choice has always been a problem for me. And good thing it hasn't been, because I would be one of those guys that's like hiding in the closet when they're knocking on the door, because I ain't getting it. Eddie says my job forced me to take it. They paid me $400 also to take it. That's how I got paid time off a whole week with COVID pay.
Wow.
Something's not true. I don't know what's not true, but something's not true. But as far as my situation, the way I feel, and the government did push this thing, and companies did make hand over fist in money. That part is certainly true. But yeah, I know. And I don't want it to be one of those things where we talk about this kind of thing. But, the questions come up, people ask me, and, I'm kind of gave the answer as to why, but if my voice was perfect and everything was fine, we wouldn't be talking about this. Trust me. So it is what it is. You guys are welcome to believe what you want. at the end of the day, doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to half the people who watch this content. They could care less what I think about anything going on in the world. It's about how can we figure this deal out called eBay, and hopefully, regardless of what you think about anything I say, you guys know one thing, that my goal is to help navigate myself, you guys, through the things that we call eBay, the problems that we deal with on this platform, the growing pains that you have as sellers, and try to figure out, maybe why you're not performing as well as you should be. And there's always an answer to that question. So, if you're not doing so well with sales right now, really get in there, start looking at your existing listings, try to figure out what you're doing wrong, and make the adjustment. Don't be afraid to discount some items. Look, you might not want to sell that item for $50. You might be into it for 20 and it's time to sell it for 35 to move on from it, and then find better merchandise with that money. But when we talk about going through our items and getting uncomfortable to succeed in this platform, these are all questions and answers that are all examples of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Get out there to the yard sales.
Friday.
Yeah, get out there to the yard sales, get some merchandise, get the stuff up, guys. Let me tell you, people are getting their tax returns. People they have some money in their hand. They're starting to get that. And it's time. If you've been sitting on merchandise, there's no time better than now to get your stuff up and listed so that those folks will spend their money with you. So hopefully you guys have an excellent weekend. Next time we talk, I'll have a better voice, hopefully. And have a great one, everyone.